So was that justice? Many will argue it was. I'll let you answer that in the comments. So we've paused a lot in this case because there have been many moments where we've had to kind of think about what is going on here. But let's look beyond the bloodshed and let's ask what truly drove Richard Chase to these horrific acts. And let's think about two psychological frameworks that can help us unpack Chase's descent into madness. There's the social learning theory, and then there's the diathesis stress model. Social learning theory was coined by Albert Bandura, and the theory proposes that people learn behavior through observing others. Behavior is shaped not only by what we experience directly, but also what we see around us. Now, in Richard Chase's case, he grew up in a violent, emotionally cold household. Was instability. His mother had mental health issues. His father was an alcoholic. So if physical abuse, dominion, or emotional neglect were normal in his home, which they were, these became internalized as acceptable responses to stress or frustration. He's created a narrative that's in his head. He probably knew that violence wasn't normal, but he was seeing it every day in his home, so it became a norm for him, especially a child. That's what he sees all the time. So that internal response is going to be what is used when there is stress and when there is frustration. And then his later fascination with blood and violence, starting with the animal mutilation, was purely organic. There could be evidence that he engaged with violent media whilst he also expressed paranoia around authority and the government. Because remember, he wanted to be close to the government but away from the UFOs. I don't know how those two things match up, but apparently they do. And these inputs may have enforced violent patterns of thought, especially in someone who was already isolated and vulnerable. So in the pot, we've got violent household, that's normal. And then we've got paranoia, issues with authority, and violent patterns of thought. And then we've also got the fact that Chase didn't develop any pro-social coping mechanisms. He wasn't mentored, supported, or taught how to self-regulate, and he learned maladapted behaviors, and nobody ever taught him anything alternative. Finding out that he was impotent, there wasn't an outlet for him to go to. He couldn't talk to his parents. He clearly didn't talk to his parents about it. And when he did act out, his parents removed him from the home. They kicked him out of the house. So he wasn't supported in finding ways to cope with stressful situations. His home life was a stressful situation. So he hasn't created any pro-social coping mechanisms, which is another thing that we can add into the pot of madness. So here's a thought.